Thank you for welcome to joining the GoodWe Commercial and Industrial Hybrid Solutions. And with me, I'm John with my marketing manager, Caroline, and the whole team behind the scenes. So the GoodWe team is actually here to present to you the latest GoodWe solutions. There's actually a hot topic in the market right now. So I'll begin. First of all, this will be the agenda. So first off, we'll start with introducing you to the brief company portfolio that we have. Then I'll just dive into or introduce you to the commercial and industrial best solutions that we are offering right now in the market. Then I'll have to take you through a bit of the case references that we've managed to install. So there are a number, but this is just a short, or let me say, a cutout of the number of installations that we've done. Then we'll dive into the Q&A section. So feel free to jump into the Q&A section to write in your questions, of which we'll be answering once we are through with the presentation. So I will begin. So first off is the GoodWe company portfolio. And as you can see, the world is actually transitioning towards a smart energy future. And that is actually the vision of GoodWe. So the team behind the GoodWe, all your support staff in terms of sales, in terms of after sales, in terms of pre-sales, and in terms of research and development, are actually impacting or being a major driving force globally to transition the world towards a smart energy future, of which is actually the most sustainable future that we can actually look into. Now, to take you through the milestones that GoodWe has, well, GoodWe was established back in 2010. And during the establishment, we managed to establish or find a niche as a manufacturer. So first off, we started as a residential PV inverter manufacturer, so the grid tie. Then right after that, our products or our technology managed to get accepted, and we managed to win a number of awards. So the Photon A for 2012 and 2013. And in that sense, we managed to upgrade our systems into the residential storage. So we released our first ES series into the Asian market in 2014, and we expanded into the Australian market. The product acceptability increased, and then, we had to monitor our products remotely. Now, this is just to facilitate the after sales and the pre-sales to see how our products are being accepted globally. And with the product acceptance, we had to amp our production facilities. So 2017, we established a Guangdong manufacturing base. And in the coming year, we established our headquarters in Europe, so Germany, Munich in 2018. And we managed to pick a number of awards later on. For example, being number one global hybrid inverter supplier, got enlisted into the Shanghai Stock Exchange. So we are financially bankable and stable. And ever since we've managed to kick off and establish a strong foothold within the globe. And as you can see in the African market, we've expanded into the African market as well. We have offices in South Africa, we have offices in Kenya, and we'll be establishing an office in Nigeria just to support the West Africa. So the whole African continent is actually captured within GoodWe. Now, apart from that, we managed to establish, we are expanding our product portfolio. So another subsidiary just to focus on the heat pump manufacturing on the devices. So that is a brief summary of the GoodWe moments and milestones. And during those moments, we managed to garner a number of awards. So, for example, Wood Mackenzie, number one residential hybrid inverter supplier, and top 5 global PV inverter shipment, also awarded by Wood Mackenzie. High efficiency for inverters, financial stability by Bloomberg. EcoVadis in 2022, Silver EcoVadis, that is. And a number of our products are actually getting performance awards for 5 consecutive years, that is, using the EuroPD research. Now, Red Dot Design is also a award that we've managed to garner, and our products are also of high quality. For 7 consecutive years, we've managed to get the 2 Rainland Quality Award. And yes, GoodWe is actually marketable, and in that sense, we managed to get an award from PV Magazine back in 2019. Now, the progress of GoodWe has been captured in terms of market acceptance and in terms of growth, as well as efficiency and quality. And production-wise, we can see that GoodWe is able to manufacture 35 gigawatt of solar PV inverters. The factory that is capable of manufacturing that size. Similarly, the battery capacity, manufacturing battery capacity is up to 2.1 gigawatt hours. Now, this is unparalleled in terms of quality and efficiency, that is. Installation-wise, over the years, now the 80 gigawatt of solar plants that are actually working, these are plants that are recorded in our SEMS. Obviously, they're more than 80 gigawatts. But for the record, the sizes are actually, the sizes of the inverters are from our small list, which is the 700 watt. And it's capturing up to the biggest inverter that we manufacture is a 350 kilowatt. Now, this data has been gotten back latest June last year. And now within the 80 gigawatts, we have the 6.2 gigawatts just focusing on the energy storage inverters. So these are the hybrid inverters. We also have, because GoodWe started as a residential inverter manufacturer, we have the biggest portion being captured by the residential inverters, 34.5 gigawatts. Utility scale market is also picking up. So up to 8.5 gigawatt just on utility, and we have 30.8 gigawatt on the commercial and industrial sector, which is actually the topic we'll be focusing on during this webinar. The portfolio of GoodWe is broad because GoodWe is a global industry. We capture different market needs. So our product ranges from for the residential sector, grid-tied residential sector is from 700 watts to 30 kilowatts. We have our C&I, commercial and industrial inverters from 25 all the way to 125 kilowatts, of which we'll be launching bigger inverter ratings in this sector coming soon. And with the utility scale sector, we have 225 kilowatt all the way to 350 kilowatt inverters. Now, products are being monitored and for the after sales purposes using our own developed smart energy management system, which is free in your app stores and in your play stores. Also, it's web-based. GoodWe also manufactures energy storage inverters, sizes from 3 all the way to 100 kilowatt inverters. Similarly, we produce lithium-ion batteries, strictly lithium-ion batteries. You come to see we have low voltage and high voltage, indoor batteries, outdoor batteries, just to capture the different needs for the various market segments that we are in. Uniquely, we do manufacture our own AC EV chargers, and we've just developed or established a subsidiary to focus on the heat pumps. And similarly, because we are tapping different market needs, GoodWe is also focusing on the building integrated PV panels. Now, in that kind, I'd love to now jump into the main section of this webinar, which is actually to introduce you to what GoodWe is offering right now in the C&I, commercial and industrial, hybrid or the best solutions. Now, what products are we offering as a hybrid-based solution for the C&I? One of the products that is now a hot topic across Africa is the ET series, specifically the 40 or the 50 kilowatt hybrid inverter. So what are the unique features that are actually making this system become very lucrative? Now, to begin with, the 50 or the 40 kilowatts is able to output a maximum of 110% of unbalanced output power per phase. Now, this is very important in terms of surge loads, in terms of unbalanced power, because most of the times the loads in three-phase systems are not that evenly balanced. Now, with 110%, you're able to increase your self-consumption, increase your reap all the benefits from the PV system, and in return, you can also do some off-grid features or even reduce the bills from the grid itself. Now, apart from that, the inverter itself is IP66. Now, it's ingress protection. Now, this allows you to do outdoor installation of the inverter. So, protection against water, protection against dust, and the warranty will still stick as per the stipulated contract. Because it's a hybrid inverter, UPS level switching is under 10 milliseconds once it's coupled with the STS, the static transfer switch. I'll take you through the static transfer switch just a bit later on. But yeah, in case the grid fails, the transition from the on-grid connection to the off-grid connection can be done in under 10 milliseconds. The product itself is actually elegant and it's compact in design. So getting a 50 kilowatt of this size, of this nature, and of high power, that's what GoodWe is trying to do. So we are miniaturizing our products just to meet the uniqueness, easy installation, easy location of the inverter rooms, and easy mounting, easy impacts on the, let me say, the wall or whatever structure you're actually mounting the product to. The inverter itself has increased or improved on the monitoring and operation experience. Now, if you look at the inverter itself, it has LEDs at the front, and coupled with the EasyLink, we have a communication module, also introduce you to it. You can connect to it either wired through the LAN cable, wireless, or even Bluetooth, just to set up your system and monitor the product itself. You can also connect it wirelessly to the internet so that you can set up a monitoring plan for better, let me say, historical data monitoring of the system itself. In unique scenarios, you have an option of including the arc fault circuit interrupter. This allows you to detect let me say, arcs on your PV strings, and the inverter itself will go into protection mode, let me say standby mode, in case you have arcs on your strings. This to avoid any fires on the roof or damage to the product itself. Now, because we have the 40 and the 50 kilowatt variants of the same ET series, we have a range of up to 4 MPPTs. Now, these MPPTs are also of high power. So we are, you can connect both the 182 and the 210 millimeter wafer sized panels or modules. And this will not impact or not clip on the generation of the PV itself. So apart from giving you a number of a number of MPPTs, the MPPTs themselves have high power current ratings just to avoid or increase on your production in spite of, let me say, increase of PV panels ratings as the trend is at the moment. Now, because most loads, not all, but some of the loads might be inductive in nature in the C&I sector, there is the need to have the surge support. Now, the ET series is able to support a surge load of up to 1.5 times the inverter rating for 10 seconds, that is. That is actually enough to cover the starting inrush current for the inductive loads. That's the unique features for one of the unique feature of the ET series. Now, with the DC oversizing, just to capture or cancel out the losses on the PV side, or even increase the let me say, or reduce the time, the duration you like to charge your batteries with. Now, the ET50 can oversize the DC or the PV capacity to up to 150%. That's the unique feature. Now, if you couple that with the high MPPT rating, then you'll be reaping enough or increasing your self-consumption or even working better in the off-grid connection mode. The efficiency of the inverter is of high nature, so we're able to reach up to 98.1% in terms of efficiency. Now, these are the topics or the points that now make the ET series hot topic or the best product for your C&I market in terms of hybrid. Now, on the appearance side, we do have, this is now just to put more emphasis on the compactness and the elegance of the ET series. You can see it's of a warm white color, LEDs at the front, fans at the back. The sizing is very compact for a 50 or a 40 kilowatt. Minimal holes in terms of on the brackets, just to limit on the impact on the structural integrity of whatever, in case it's a wall or a let me say a metallic structure. Yeah, so it's very compact, neat, and elegant. Interaction-wise, for let me say user interfaces, we have LEDs at the front. It's not just LEDs. We have the dongles or the communication modules which you can plug at the bottom. So port 30, that is. Through that, you can have connection through your mobile phone, to your mobile phone, that is. Either SolarGo or Sense, and you can get to see more data on the operational status of the inverter. Now, the LEDs you can use to see the battery SOCs, the battery state, inverter state, connection to the internet, and such kinds. At the back, that's where we now get to build the heat sinks and the mounting plate. So the heat sinks are basically just to dissipate heat to the environment to prevent the inverter from heating up. Now, the heating capabilities, we do have a smart fans connected to this inverter. Now, the fans are actually smart fans. They will only run at higher speed or even lower speed, depending on the internal temperature of the inverter itself. So it's a smart fan, not so this is actually to reduce the noise or the decibels that come from the inverter during the operation. So more ports to connect to, that is the PVs for the MPPTs, the battery connection port, communication connection port for paralleling, and even the smart load controls and the lights, diesels, generator start stop signals, and the AC port output to the STS, that is. Though, this is just a summary. In case you need any more data, then we'll be sharing, after the webinar, we'll be sharing the inverter manual to see how you actually install these inverters. Now, one of the inverters that we now include into the C&I hybrid system is the GT series. Now, what's the GoodWe GT series look like? What's the interesting features that we have? Now, first off, the inverter rating is from 100 to 125 kVA. I'll have to emphasize on the kVA, though mostly for the African market, we do use the kilowatt, the active power. But yeah, so the GT series is on the rating is for 8 to 10 MPPTs, and these are high power MPPTs. So up to 42 amps per MPPT. That means it's a 21 amp board. This covers the big panels, the high power panels. IP rating is 6.6, so that means you can fully install it outside or outdoor. It's excellent in terms of the smart cooling technology that we've embedded in it. So the smart fans, it's able to work up to temperatures, output 110% on the AC port, AC power that is, when the temperatures are lower than 45 or 40 degrees Celsius. Now, the level of, let me say, costs in terms of purchase of these products has been reduced, so it's now more affordable, the C&I sector. So for example, the 100 kilowatt is now more compact, less ports, less MPPTs, and it's now more affordable, but still of high power. Yeah. Now, uniquely, in case you'd like to integrate the actual circuit interrupter, then the GT series comes with the 3.0, let me say, version of the AFCI, just to increase on the sensitivity and the fast response of to prevent any arcs on your PV strings. Oversizing the GT series, you can reach up to 150%, so it's quite flexible. And the inverter is also capable to come with the PID recovery. So potential induced degradation for your PV panels. The inverter itself can repair that during the night, that is. Reactive power compensation during the night is also an optional feature that you can integrate with this GT series. So more features are actually integratable depending on your needs, that is. Now the product itself is elegant and light. So yeah, high power as well, as you can see. And we've actually moved the DC switches from the bottom part of the inverter to the side of the inverter. So easier, let me say, reachability, or you can easily easily identify which ports are DC ports or MPPTs are on. You don't need to bend down to look under the inverter itself. Efficiency is quite high, maximum up to 99%. So these are the unique features that we have for a GT series, making it the top product of the C&I market, that is. And I will show you how to connect this on-grid inverter with a hybrid inverter to make a microgrid later on as we do look into the application scenarios. Now, how the product looks like in terms of appearance, this is how compact it is. LEDs, it can come with an LCD or without an LCD, but the LEDs are standard. It's compact, easy to mount. So the weight is not that heavy itself. Two people or even a forklift or crane, your choice, easy, flexible on how you can mount it. The strings are connected at the bottom, as usual, the MPPTs, the ACs at the sides. So we can do single coils. It gives you a number of flexibility on how you can connect the AC ports as well. As you can see, the DC switches are at the sides as well. So ports 10 and 11 on the bottom left, you can see. Ports 10 and 11 are actually the DC switch for the MPPTs. Communication can be done through RS-485, so it's very robust for the C&I market, which has very rugged terrains. The next product I'd like to introduce you to is the static transfer switch. So what's this GoodWe static transfer switch look like? And what are the unique features? Now, I mentioned before the ET series. Now, the ET series for the African market, because we would like to utilize the backup or the off-grid functionality of the inverter, the ET series, the 40 and the 50 kilowatts will need to be connected to the STS. So the STS is basically a smart transfer switch, or if you may put it, is a smart automatic transfer switch for this market. So why is it very unique? Now, this STS is able to connect to different loads. Now, for example, we do have a port. One of the ports is called the generator port. That port is not fixed, not really hardwired to only connect to the generator port, but you can customize that port to connect to large loads, that is. Now, these large loads can be disconnected, reconnected in depending on the state of operation that you would like to set it to. The product itself is IP65, so can be installed outdoor. It supports diesel generator connections, as I mentioned before. So basically, it integrates the inverter, power from the inverter, connects to the critical loads, connects to the diesel generator, and also connects to the grid incoming lines. So it can support both critical and non-critical loads through the STS. The level of switching is under 10 milliseconds for a single inverter, that is. We keep it under 10 milliseconds. So yeah, in case the grid fails, the transition time is actually very seamless. The STS also supports off-grid functionality. So if you install the ET 40 or 50 kilowatt inverter with an STS, that system can work off-grid. So the grid port can lie idle up until, let's say, you've brought in the grid line, that is. So it's very flexible. It's a plug and play. So the communication cable to from the inverter to the STS come with the product itself. The ports are already ready, so it's an OT or lag terminal connections. Not much really needed to install this product. It does come with an LEDs, with LEDs at the front to give you the status of the product in terms of communication to the inverter, fault-wise, or in case there's an alarm within the product itself to inform you of replacement or troubleshooting. The STS is very robust in communication. So communicating to the inverter, it's able to handle up to 100-meter distance in between. So you can actually install the ET series inverter within, let me say, next to the PV panels and install the STS in the power room. Now, in that nature, you're actually reducing the cost of your installation because now you're having less cable runs to the inverter itself. So only one AC cable run to the inverter and one communication cable to the inverter. And in the power room, you can now loop in the cables to the critical loads, cable to the generator, and a cable to the incoming grid. That's how robust it is. In terms of charging, when you're connecting the STS to the ET50 or 40, you can set it up so that the diesel generator can be able to charge your batteries on emergency basis. So it's quite flexible, not only the grid, but you can also use the diesel generator. And in case your design is optimum, then yeah, the PV system should be able to charge your batteries themselves. Yeah. Now, moving on to the EasyLink. EasyLink is a communication module that you connect to the ET40 or the ET50 inverter. And I'll give you the application scenarios in which you'll be using the EasyLink itself. But then, why would you require an easy link in comparison to the next product that I'll be explaining, which is the SEC 3000C? Now, the EasyLink 3000 is actually able to install or realize the master slave topology within the ET50 series or the ET40 inverters. Now, from 2 to 4 pieces of the inverter, you are able to use, or you can use the EasyLink module to establish the master slave. So one of the inverter becomes the master, and the rest actually report to the master so that the whole system works as one. The product itself is IP65. So just like the inverter, you can install the inverter outdoor as well as the communication module outdoor as well. Now, the product allows real-time data collection and analysis in the sense that using the Wi-Fi or the cable, the LAN cable itself, you connect the product to the internet source, and you'll be getting data from the inverter itself uploaded to the GoodWe monitoring portal, which is called the SEMS portal. And in case you're on site, then you can basically connect directly to the dongle using the Wi-Fi or the Bluetooth to see what's actually happening to your system locally. The product is versatile in terms of application. So not only will you use it to parallel the C&I hybrid inverters, you can also use it to parallel the residential hybrid inverters. So stocking this communication module allows you to do flexibility in terms of scalability for both the C&I hybrid and the residential hybrid products. It's a low-cost investment. So contrary to taking a whole control box, comparing to the just hooking up a communication modules for 2 to 4 pieces of the ET series, this product allows you to save on cost during the installation or during the purchase phase. It's a plug and play product. So all you need to do is just plug it in, the product will turn on, and you connect to it using the Bluetooth, set up the inverter, and you're good to go. Very easy to install, very easy to connect and set it up. In terms of scalability, I mentioned that if you'd like to scale up your ET series between 2 to 4 pieces, then the EasyLink 3000 can help you realize this. So scalability is very easy. You only need to purchase this communication module and you're good to go. There's advanced communication protocol. So we have security measures to protect your product itself. For example, the Wi-Fi will be basically turning off or going idle after 5 minutes just to protect your system from, let me say, hackers or on the side, leaving only the LAN cable to connect to the product itself or the Bluetooth. So it limits the invasive nature in the IT sector, that is. Now, it's friendly to use because it's very easy to set it up. Plug it in, the Bluetooth is usually the first to be enabled. In case you want the Wi-Fi connected, then you just enable the Wi-Fi. In case you'd like to use the wired connection, then you connect the LAN cable. And in case you've forgotten your passwords and the likes, then you just have to press on the reload button or on the reset button, press and hold for more than 10 seconds. And yeah, the product is actually restored to its factory settings. And yeah, you repeat on the settings itself just to put it all set up. So this is an all-in-one solution. So if you'd like to get in or purchase let me say, scale up your system, more than 2 to 4 inverters, then pick in the EasyLink. If you like also to parallel the residential sector, the EasyLink comes in. So the EasyLink is very flexible and it's all in one to capture both market, the C&I and the residential market itself. Now, the next big control system that we have for bigger scalability for the hybrid system, the C&I hybrid, is called the SEC 3000C, and it's very unique. Now, to begin with, the SEC 3000C is able to control both on-grid and hybrid inverters, or let me say solutions. Why would I mention this? Because I did previously mention that the GT series and the ET series can be installed to focus or to establish a microgrid scenario. So this controller can control both of these inverters. So basically, SEC 3000C can realize microgrid scenarios. The control box itself is IP65, so it's very reliable, or you can install it outdoor itself. It allows real-time data connection and analysis from products, and I'll come to introduce you to the various scenarios that we have, how big you can scale up your systems and get real-time data from the products that you connected to this controller. Uh, Achieving reactive and active power control is possible for as many products that I will show in the upcoming slides. We can realize export power control through SEC 3000C. It's a plug and play installation, easy to commission, easy to connect. Already the ports are just ready to be connected to. It allows scalability of the C&I storage application. For example, using the SEC 3000C, you can do up to 10 pieces of ET40 or ET15 inverters, and you can do up to 40 pieces of the GT series. Now that is quite big. That is actually the microgrid that we are, or even the mini grid that we are actually talking about in terms of the C&I hybrid sector. SEC 3000C uses advanced communication protocols, so it's a mix of both Modbus RTU, Modbus TCP, to establish, let's say, communication and monitoring between the products themselves and the monitoring portal and the setup process itself. The protection in terms of security is also advanced, so be assured that the products will be running in utmost security. It's a friendly user interface. So yeah, you can use your computer, web-based, to connect and set up your system. And similarly, it's an all-in-one solution because in the control box, you'll have the data logger, Easy Logger 3000C. You'll have your smart meter as well, the GM330, to monitor the grid and also control the products that are installed locally. So how does it look like? So these are the sizings, very compact, and number of already prefabricated points or holes at the bottom for the cable connections. So yeah, easy to mount, easy to secure. It also have plugs or locks at the sides, key locks, so you can lock them with your key just for safety. So internally, these are the products that you will be getting and the devices. So the controller, 4G router, power module, SPDs, connection ports, switcher, meter, and the likes. So connecting to the SEC 3000C, you'll get to see this view in case you're using the web interface. So it's very easy to set up your systems. Then I'll introduce you to the battery models that we have for this C&I market. So what we have first off is the BAT series. Now the first BAT series battery that we have is the indoor battery. Sorry. We have two variants. So the first variant is the indoor, the biggest, has 11 modules, 56.3 kilowatt hour. And the next is the 51.2 kilowatt hour. Basically, it's just difference in terms of number of battery modules. 56.3 will have 11 batteries, 51.2 will have 10 batteries. Now, what are the unique features you'll be getting once you have this product installed? Now, the operating voltages, operating temperatures are very broad or wide. So this is just to ensure you that the African market, how hot it goes, will be able to limit you. And to get the actual specific working range, we'll be also sharing the data sheet of this battery itself. We are able to reach, the battery is able to reach over 6,000 cycles. So this is guaranteed. Comes with the 1-year maintenance free. So you can store the battery in your warehouse for over a year or even up to a year without doing any maintenance. That is charging and discharging to protect the health of the batteries. The efficiency or the round trip efficiency is up to 96%. So you'll be using up most, if not all, of the power that's stored in this battery. It's flexible in terms of configuration, as I mentioned before. You can see the fast tower or bank has 11, so the whole rack is full. And the next tower has 10 batteries, so we have an empty slot. So you use flexible on how you can choose and install the sizing of the battery. The battery comes with an optional feature in terms of fire suppression. So every battery module can come with a pack level aerosol for fire suppression. The charge discharge is 1C for charging, 1.1C for discharge. And yeah, this ensures that you're actually discharging or you're able to support your loads at 1C. So if you have an inverter of 50 kilowatt, you only need a full bank. And that is minimum 51.2, and you're able to support a load of up to 50 kilowatt discharge. The battery is of lower cost. So given that it's an indoor battery with the advanced internal, let me say, components, we've managed to reduce the cost of the product itself, but still ensuring that we are of top quality because we are actually being audited by the TÜV Rheinland. The product itself is very much meeting the standards for the African market. It's affordable for our C&I customers. Discharging this battery, you can reach up to 100% DOD. And yeah, scaling up the battery is very easy. So you can do up to 6 banks on to one inverter, that is. So either 50 or a 40 kilowatt ET series can handle 6 banks of the BAT series. Now, contrary to the first, comparing the first and this second BAT series, it's now a matter of size, the rating, and yeah, basically the specs that will come in between. So for the BAT series outdoor, we have 2 variants, the 102.4 and the 112.6 kilowatt hour. The same battery BAT still holds the same most similar features, just a bit tweaked here and there. So wide range of operating temperature, 6,000 cycles, 1 year maintenance free, efficiency 96%, pack flexible configuration because you can either choose the 102 or the 112 cabinet level. So the difference with this one, now this is where the now difference starts coming in. The BAT indoor will have pack level, but the BAT outdoor will have cabinet level aerosol fire suppression. Now, with the BAT indoor, we have 1C charge. The BAT outdoor will have 0.9C charge, but the discharge is the same, 1.1C for both BAT series. The IP ratings is also different. BAT indoor is basically indoor, and the BAT outdoor will now come with an IP55 rating, so you can basically install it outside. 100% DOD, and in terms of scaling up, you can now, instead of doing 6 like we did with the BAT indoor, the outdoor version you can do parallel up to 4 banks or towers or cabinets to 1 inverter. So that's how scalable the BAT outdoor is. Now this is where it starts getting interesting. So I'll try to show you how we can mix these products to achieve different, let me say, installation or execution scenarios. Now, first off, we have the on or the off-grid installation using the inverter, the ET, and the STS. This is just a single inverter. Mark you, the inverter will be coming with the smart meter as the package, one of the package or the accessories with the inverter. So the GM330 smart meter, it's a 3-phase smart meter, will be coming with the inverter. All you need to do is purchase a third-party CT as long as the secondary rating is 5 amps and you're good to go. So we have this scenario. The CTs are the grid incoming line, just to prevent or monitor the grid incoming line for zero export or just to know the consumption and the load. Then we can connect on-grid loads to the on-grid port of the STS. Then the STS itself also has a backup port to connect the critical loads. Now the inverter side is a hybrid inverter, so we have strings or PV connecting to the inverter, and we have the battery, BAT, or even both series, BAT indoor or BAT outdoor, connecting to the inverter itself. So this typical scenario when you're connecting a single piece of inverter. Now, if we look into other scenarios, we have the scenarios where now we're including the on-grid loads, scenario one that is, on-grid loads, you have your diesel generator, you have your critical loads, and within the same critical load output, you have another big load that's connected to, well, there's a contactor in between the big load and the backup port. Now, with scenario one, the emphasis or the real operating principle for this scenario is that, first off, the inverter is monitoring the grid incoming line for zero export, load monitoring, uh, and the likes, or even export to the grid. Then the ET series also supplying power to the on-grid loads during whenever the grid is available. It can support the on-grid loads. And if the grid fails, then the on-grid loads go off. And in under 10 milliseconds, the backup loads now start getting power from only the PV and the battery. As the battery starts discharging to particular SOCs, let's say 40 or 50% state of charge, the inverter can be automatically be programmed so that at certain points, only very critical loads can discharge the battery. So we have a smart load disconnection signal from the inverter to the contactor to disconnect the big load. Then you're only left with the very critical loads to use up the battery charge. Now that's scenario one. And in case you're discharging your battery towards very critical level, let's say 10% state of charge, then the inverter can also send a start signal to your diesel generator so that it starts up and powers the loads as we wait for the next day for the sun to come up and then the charging of the battery starts it. Now in scenario two, we have instances that you don't need, the client doesn't provide or is not prioritizing connection of a diesel generator, but then the diesel generator port of the STS can still be configured to handle big loads. Now, the big load operating can still be achieved using the smart way automatically. It can be disconnected during certain points so that only the backup loads can discharge the remaining charge on the batteries to the very low levels. Yeah. And once the battery runs out, but because the client is not prioritizing on the diesel generator, then you can include a manual changeover so that the generator now kicks in to supply the remaining loads or all of the loads that is. So scenario two is for achieving that particular operating principle. Now those are single basis, but then the system is scalable. I mentioned the EasyLink. Now the EasyLink 3000, you can use it to scale up to 4 pieces of the ET series, 40 or 50 kilowatts. Each inverter connecting to its own STS, but because you're using the EasyLink, the inverter that is plugged to the EasyLink becomes the master and the rest becomes slaves to that inverter. So they report to that inverter. Similarly, the master inverter is the one that will monitor the grid incoming line that is connecting to the smart meter. So a single smart meter, a single inverter, a single EasyLink, those are the masters. Then the rest will be reporting to the master. The remaining 3 or 2 reporting to the master inverter. If you're scaling up more than 4 pieces, then you need the SEC3000. See? And in this sense, you'll be doing up to 10 ET50s or 10 ET40s. So your maximum, you can do 500 kilowatt. The battery rating can go up to 3 megawatt hour. Yes, so that's on the maximum side. Now, in this up to 10 inverters, you can see we're not really doing a master slave. All the inverters are directly reporting to the controller itself. So through the LAN connection to the Ethernet switch or the router, all the inverters will be connecting to the SEC3000C. So any inverter fails, the rest still continues as long as the remaining inverters can handle the loads. Using the STS, as you can see, the inverters can parallel or they can share loads for the on-grid ports, and they can also share loads that are on the backup port. So the whole system can be sized up or scaled up to become a mini grid. Now in this, or even a microgrid. Now this scenario actually now brings us to this. First off, if you're doing the BAT indoor, this is how now scaling up using SEC3000C. On the inverter side, This is just typically just hybrid. On the inverter side, you can do up to 10 pieces in parallel. And on each inverter, if it's the outdoor battery, then the BAT 100, which is the 102 and the 112 kilowatt hour, each inverter can hold 4 banks. Now that's being, you can do up to, if you do on the maximum side is 500 kilowatts, up to 4 megawatt hour if you're doing the outdoor system. The same system is sharing loads on the on-grid, sharing loads on the backup port, that is. And you can also share the generator on the generator port, that is. Now, that's how you can scale up using the outdoor system. Uh, Similarly, if you're now doing a microgrid or a mini grid, the SEC3000C can control up to 10 ET series. The battery side, as I mentioned before, you can do 4 pieces with the BAT outdoor, 6 pieces with the BAT indoor. And on the on-grid side, you connect the GT series, up to 40 pieces of the GT series. Now, this is able to keep you running in a microgrid scenario. So this is another typical scenario that you can achieve. Now, to almost summarize this before we kick into the Q&A section, I would like to take you through some of the case reference that we have garnered in the African market. So in just a bit, I would like to share a video to you. So just give me a moment. Yeah, thank you for the attendance. Thank you for the interactions. Thank you for the questions. That's why we are here. And we're actually holding webinars every month. So the next time we'll be holding a webinar on the GoodWe Designer. We do have our own simulation tool for the GoodWe products. And yeah, it's free of charge. So hope to meet you all next time in a webinar session. Looking forward to interacting with you after this webinar as well. Thank you.